Omega candles. The Bitcoin super cycle. $1 million Bitcoin.
Retail's not here yet because it's not high enough yet, right? So you get it. You get it implicitly. It's not high enough. But at 0.1 M, it's high enough.
Okay. Wow. Okay. So 1 million potentially this year.
It's looking like it, and it's not impossible. You're already seeing Omega candles in other markets.
All these positive, hope-filled comments, they're just not doing it for us right now with Bitcoin dead at 80K. And no, I'm not here to put down the hopium dealers. Quite the opposite. I figured since we've gone through so much pain, the first real pull down in Bitcoin in this bull market, I figured, you know what? Let's do a hopium episode. Let's kick off the week with some actual signal. All right. So we're going to zoom out from all of this daily noise, and we're going to take a look at what Bitcoin has done in the past and how this cycle, this epoch, may not be the exact same as the previous ones, but it does certainly seem to be rhyming. But before we get into it, a quick word from our sponsors.
It's like people only do things because they get paid. And that's just really sad.
Pleb Underground is brought to you by KnowHue. Go check them out at knowhue.com. They are building Amazon for Bitcoiners, a one-stop shop for Bitcoin-only brands. New brands are going to be added every month, so go check them out. Don't miss what's happening at knowhue.com. Pleb Underground is brought to you by CypherSafe. You guys all know I am a pet rock enjoyer. Love the swag, love the collectibles. This is the ultimate Bitcoin collectible. That's right, guys. We're talking 16 ounces of solid titanium, the Bitcoin Rollo Triangle. Go check it out at CypherSafe.io. Pleb Underground is brought to you by ThunderFunder. Go check them out at ThunderFunder.com. ThunderFunder is a funding portal registered with the SEC and a member of FINRA. Their mission is to provide retail investors access to investments while supporting the growth of open source projects. They love Bitcoin. Check out their shitcoins. ThunderFunder.com. Welcome back, everyone. That's right, guys. I don't normally do the hopium episodes, but I feel like these last 2 weeks, right? We need something to remind us, right? We need something to remind us why Bitcoin. So let's dive into it. All right, the first chart. Here we go. This is from the 2017 bull cycle, and as you guys can see here, look at these drawdowns: 38%, 38%, 33, 38, 36, 29. All right, guys. Those all happened during one bull cycle. Okay, so if you think that Bitcoin's dead right now at 80K, that was just the first real drawdown this cycle. And guys, if you're still here, give yourself a pat on the back, right? Because a lot of times, this type of price action, people who don't understand Bitcoin, if this is their first epoch that they're actually hodling through, and they experience this type of a drawdown, they're like, that's it. The cycle's over. It's done. We're heading into the bear market. But as I'm going to show you, I think this is further from the truth than some people may think. Anyways, moving on to the next piece of hopium, we've got a tweet from Super Bitcoin Bro. And here we go. This is a comparison of the 2021 bull run to the 2025 bull run that is currently developing. And as you guys can see here, okay, you can see exactly where we are in the cycle. And if we are to extrapolate anything out of this chart, it means that we are about to experience a massive leg up into all new price discovery territory. Sounds good to me. And if that wasn't enough, look, we've got the endorsement of the PayPal Mafia. That's right. Here's a tweet from David Marcus, right? He was the previous CEO of PayPal, worked with Peter Thiel and Elon Musk, the PayPal Mafia that doesn't exist. And here's what he had to say. Zero doubts in my mind. Sats equals Bitcoin's TCP IP packets. Okay, it's a good analogy. Tiny bits that will eventually move trillions in USD daily. Internet did data. This will do money. in all fairness, the TCP/IP analogy to Bitcoin is one of the things that really got me to at least to be able to frame Bitcoin in a way that I was willing to do a little more digging into it, because essentially TCP/IP is the protocol or the language of the internet, right? It is essentially the building blocks for all the communication to take place on the internet. So if we take a look at Bitcoin, right, and frame it the way that David Marcus is framing it, then we can see that that analogy really does make sense. And of course, since Bitcoin is emerging as a medium of exchange and a store of value and a censorship-resistant ledger that the government cannot mess with, well, the idea that layers will be built up on top of it, monetary layers, it's not far-fetched. It's not far-fetched at all. It's actually very plausible. Moving on, this is a fantastic post from Matthew Sigel. Here we go. List of Bitcoin corrections in the run-up to 20K. So that's from the 2017 cycle. And then list of Bitcoin corrections in the run-up to 69K, which was the last epoch in 2021. And take a look at these numbers. Now, keep in mind, guys, the most recent pullback we had was approximately somewhere in like the high 20s, like 27% or 29%. Keep that in mind. Okay, so here we go. In the 2017 cycle, minus 41%, minus 38, minus 29, minus 34, minus 41, minus 40, minus 27. Okay, take a look at the 2021 cycle. Minus 21, minus 17%, minus 31. These were the retracements during the bull runs. Okay, minus 26, minus 55%. Guys, this would have been us going now down to 50K approximately. Okay, that's what it would have been like. Would you have been able to hodl that? I know for a fact I would have, because I've hodled down much more than 50%. I've hodled down over 80% loss. And again, it's not a competition. You sit there and say like, oh yeah, you're able to do this. You're so tough. No, it's not about that. What it has to do with is conviction. And I had done enough research and I had enough confidence in myself that I was willing to not only weather the storm, but to continue to accumulate Bitcoin at those levels. So when you're looking at this stuff, it's a lot of noise. Okay, these drawdowns, they invite the FUD. Okay, and the FUDsters are really good at it. I've seen a couple of posts, people talking about this is cycle top stuff, right? Look at the Trump token. Look at all of these celebrities pushing out tokens. These are top signals. Now, I don't know if those people are saying this stuff because they're essentially trying to fudge you out of your bags or whatever it is, because of course everyone's a scammer, and that's perfectly fine. That type of activity where you see celebrities and you see these, kind of high profile accounts that are shilling absolute garbage, that happens at the beginning of a bull run too. Okay? This is not unusual, because essentially what it does is that what you see happen is that people come to the table before everyone else shows up, right? So they let's say, imagine you're in a conference center, right? They show up, they set up their booth, they're waiting for the crowds. And this is exactly what a lot of these shitcoin peddlers are doing. They're waiting for the crowds. So yeah, they're doing these announcements, they're putting out these products, but they're not putting this out for the market that's here now necessarily. They are building this garbage for the market to come. So the idea that this is all top signals right now, I don't buy it. Moving on, here we go. We've got a tweet from Charlie Bolello. At 80K, Bitcoin is now down, here you go, around 27% from its all-time high of $109,000. Is that a big drawdown for Bitcoin? No. You've got a whole bunch of, look at this. Look at back in 2020, look at back in 2010. Bitcoin went down 94%, 72%. Look at this. We go all the way up, look, from 2017 to 2018. At one point, there was a drawdown of 84%. So if you're not looking at this and zooming out, then I don't know what to tell you. Because to me, all we're experiencing right now is normal market action. The final post is, I think, an excellent reflection here from Stephen Barber. For the people who don't know who Stephen Barber is, he is the founder, the creator of Upstream Data Inc. And I really appreciate his take, his perspective on this. Bitcoin's price and value stem from the network effect and its resulting utility, not from individual whales purchasing BTC, no matter how impressive the amount. Take Michael Saylor, for example. The value he has brought to Bitcoin lies in the education he has provided through his actions, which attracts more peers and amplifies the network effect. Saylor's additional Bitcoin purchases have little to no direct impact on the price or network value, as each of his buys implies that someone else has sold. When Saylor acquires BTC, the real value he contributes comes from inspiring confidence in new peers to join the network. Moreover, if you buy BTC to leave it with a custodian, you risk increasing the leveraged paper Bitcoin in circulation, which is a net negative to the network's value. Not only does paper BTC artificially suppress the price, but it can set up a huge insolvency event, causing loss of faith, interest in the technology for those who get fractioned. My point is this: focus your mimetic energy on the factors that drive the network effect. Everything else is just noise. Promote self-custody and acceptance of Bitcoin as a means of payment. Now, I have spoken several times about the major insolvency event, which I do believe is going to come from this cycle. And I want you guys to think of this. When we were sitting in the 100K range, we saw all of these public companies, for the majority, crappy public companies, okay, companies that are just swimming in debt and essentially attempting to issue more shares so that they can continue to pay the bills. And these companies were excited to tell you that they were buying Bitcoin at all-time highs, okay? Because Bitcoin was in the news and getting a lot of attention. So it was worth it for them to tell you that they're buying Bitcoin in order to be able to dump their shares. Now, here we are, 27% off, as Charlie Bolello alluded to, of the all-time highs. And where are these companies right now? How come they're not? I mean, they loved Bitcoin at 100K. They should be falling over themselves at this point at 80K Bitcoin, 85K Bitcoin, right? This is a steal. Where are they? Not a single one of them is announcing anything. Okay? You should think about that. I think about that because that to me tells me, again, that this helps confirm that this was all just noise. And I really do have a bad feeling that many of these companies are going to end up getting wrecked in an insolvency event because they are not all going to get favorable terms for those shares that they issue, okay? And the amount, some of them may be able to pay the interest that is going to be due. Others are not going to be able to pay. There's a lot of companies that are swimming naked right now while the tide is out. But when it pulls back in, we're going to see exactly what's happening. And seriously, it is going to be ugly. Now, of course, I know this is a hopium episode, and I'm trying to keep us focused on the bullishness. But at the same time, I can't help but question those companies, right, that were so excited about Bitcoin at 100K. Where are they now in the 80s? I don't see any of them. So guys, the whole point of this is, don't pay attention to the noise. Pay attention to the signal. These bumps in the road, this is just regular market activity. There is nothing major happening in Bitcoin to say that all of a sudden this particular cycle is over or that somehow it's run its course and, it's going back to, 15K or something like that. Look, all of these people, they're trying to sell you engagement. It's that simple, okay? It's that simple. And all I could tell you is this: if you are not over leveraging yourself and you're DCAing and you're taking a long-term approach to Bitcoin, you're going to be just fine. And all of this noise, you're going to get to look back at it and laugh at it. That's all I wanted to talk about today. Catch you on the next one. Peace.